Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Hey, welcome to Stump the Idiot. I am the huge one, aka the idiot, Dave Koco from KocoSports.net or KocoSports.com. It takes the same places where the world comes kick ass, and your home for. I fucked up that intro. You know, this ain't even live. There's a part of me like, I fucked up the intro. Should I redo it? You know, it's not live. Maybe fuck it. And also ProWrestling.me, where we want it to be pro wrestling bar atmosphere, social media for true pro wrestling fans. So please do check it out. All right, we got this great question from the Internet Infantry, and it's the top 5 reasons why you love, and it has WWE, TNA, ROH, New Japan, Lucha Underground, and the number 1 reason why you hate them. I figured I'd break this up, do a little bit of short videos, slice it up. More idiot, but, you know, spread out. You know, trying to lean you off the idiot. So this will be the top 5 things I love about WWE, and the one thing that I hate most about WWE. And it would be cool if other podcasters joined in. You know, you can answer the question down in the comments and see. I wrote my list and a good 5 minutes of preparation, so I'm sure there's no errors in this list at all. All right, so top 5 reasons why I love the WWE, and one, I guess, major reason why you hate WWE. And the reason he wanted us to answer this is we're a bit negative Nelly here on KocoSports PWME Stump the Idiot. We got to remember why we still watch professional wrestling. All right, top 5 things in WWE right now. Number 5, Camp WWE. I absolutely love Camp WWE. I probably wouldn't have the WWE Network if it wasn't for Camp WWE. I don't know, I probably would still have it, but Camp WWE, I just think it's like everything WWE wants to be. And, you know, it's funny. The characters are interested. Every character in WWE is better on Camp WWE. Period. End of story. Enough said. And all that, but it reminds me of when I was a kid, and it reminds me of the Attitude Era. It's just like all the best parts of WWE in one Camp WWE. So hopefully they keep that series going. So my number 5 thing of things I love about WWE is Camp WWE. I find it to be hilarious. It's one of the main things. I don't know. Maybe I'll break down Camp WWE episodes. I'd be like, how awesome is the... Seriously. For those that watch Camp WWE, how much more awesome is Big Show on Camp WWE than he is at anything he's ever done in his life? Your cartoon is your peak, sir. Your cartoon is your peak. Number 4. This is good and bad, but we're trying to be positive Petey's here. They won the war. They won the war. You know, granted, I do hate how people rewrite histories. There's a popular YouTuber that goes, oh, well, you've always been a Hulkamaniac, or you've always loved WWE, we should be so grateful. But I was an NWA, WCW, ECW fan. I was on the losing side of the war. You know, they won the war, they rewrite history. But, yeah, it is good that they won the war, because this is why. It feels like it will always be there. You know, great businesses like the MySpace, Yahoo, you know, they're not out of business, but there's MySpace, but they are. Let's be completely honest. They're not number 1 anymore. They just fell apart. They're just hanging on. AOL. There's a lot of great big companies that fell. And WWE could fail, but the fact that it won the war, it feels like it's always going to be there. You know, you can't say that about TNA, ROH, New Japan, and Lucha Underground unless you're fucking delusional. But it has a feeling, and maybe I'm a little delusional, but it has a feeling that it's always going to be there. And that's a good thing. And the reason why it's a good thing that it feels like it'll always be there is because then you feel like, all right, well, no matter how shitty or good this is, it will always be there Monday night. And you don't have to worry about your team in the middle of the night moving from Hartford to Carolina or something like that. You know, it feels. I don't know. There's a feeling about WWE that'll always be there, and there's a reason that's good. Is because fans of TNA, ROH, New Japan, Lucha Underground, they're always like really defensive of it. Where WWE fans, we take WWE for granted a lot because we always feel like it's going to be there. So it feels like you can bitch about it more. Where if you go to TNA and you do a TNA review, people are like, oh, don't pick on little TNA and NWA. And, you know, there is no don't pick on the little WWE, which is good because then you get out of company loyalist into we just want a better product, and so I think winning the war is a good thing, and it sucks because I lost the war. I'd rather have ECW, I'd rather have WCW, I'd rather have NWA on top, but you know what? The fact that you could say American football, NFL, professional wrestling, WWE, it does feel like there's a safety net and you can attack them more, and I think the fans have thicker skins. And granted, I've heard rumors of WWE fans that get too sensitive and butthurt, but I do I used to, until like last week. And I'm trying to get back into it. I used to do a podcast every day. And WWE fans have thick skin, and they're just like, oh yeah, fucking it sucks. They've got to be fucking better. Because there's a pressure, since they are pretty much as close to a monopoly as we'll probably ever see. There's pressure that they always have to be good. Now, do they deliver on that pressure? Oh God, no. It's like the New York Yankees being in third place after spending billions of dollars. But it does. It feels like they won the war. It feels like it's always going to be there, and maybe it won't. Maybe it'll fall apart. And, if any company deserves to fall apart, maybe WWE does. But at the same time, it feels that way. Where you can go to TNA, it's like you have to defend it. Like, oh, it's still in business. You're just a bunch of haters. It feels like the fact that WWE's number one, you don't have to deal with that. And you can just attack it and be like, it should be good. And you have no excuse. If you go and attack a smaller company that's not WWE, they're like, oh, why are you picking on them? Why are you picking, like at ROH? Well, why are you picking on ROH? And I was like, well, what I picked on them about was booking. That's not a money issue. But, you don't have that. You don't have that little defense with the WWE. You're just like, they fucking won the war. They have millions of dollars. Why ain't you fucking good, you pieces of shit? Huh? But if you do that for another company, like, why are you picking on them? So, yeah, winning the war. I was all over the place on that one. Number 3, it's a combination one. NXT and the roster. WWE, the main event booking is absolutely horrible. But talent-wise, NXT and the roster right now is absolutely amazing. And it just makes you angry that the show's not better. I mean, it's one of those things. You have the athletes are amazing. You have the wrestlers are amazing. You have the marketing, it's just, it's tough. But yeah, I think the roster's that. And I think WWE is really good at, when Roman Reigns and John Cena are on top, they always give you just a little bit of hope to keep you going. They're like, oh, I hate fucking Roman Reigns, but oh, here's Cesaro. Oh, I hate Cena. Well, here's a little CM Punk. Here's a little Dolph Ziggler. They just, I always describe it as the Oregon Trail, and WWE is just trailing along on its way to Oregon, and and pure wrestling fans, the OWC, and pure wrestling fans are always like, I'm not gonna fucking follow the cart, and then Vince will throw out a little CM Punk, they'll throw out a little Chris Benoit, they'll throw out a little Eddie Guerrero, they'll throw out a little Dolph Ziggler or Cesaro and the NXT. And we're like, all right, God damn it might be good in the future, and then we just go. That's how I pictured WWE and us. I picture us as a pack of wolves going, oh, fuck you, we're not going to follow you anymore, WWE. Like, hey, how would you like a little bit of Daniel Bryan? All right, we'll follow you for a little bit. Sure, why not? So, yeah, the roster always gives us hope. I just wish that one day the creative would equal up to the roster. The number 2 thing that I love about WWE is WrestleMania weekend. It just feels like it's a national holiday, and it's bigger than just WWE. It feels like WrestleMania is a celebration of pro wrestling. People that even just like pro wrestling a little bit check in at WrestleMania. If you go to WrestleMania live, you see wrestling fans from around the world. The last one I went to was Orlando. And it was great. It just felt like pro wrestling took over the whole city, and you had fans everywhere. And it's not even just about WWE. You got to see Ring of Honor. You got to see Dragon Gate. I think Evolve and all those guys. It's just WrestleMania feels like a celebration of all of professional wrestling. And honorable mention to Royal Rumble. Even though I grew up a WCW fan, I was a big fan of the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, but my number 2 spot goes to WrestleMania, and I always tell fans this. They're always asking, one of the popular questions we get in our chat and all that, and all on social media and all that, is I've never been to WrestleMania. Should I go? And it's a very expensive ticket, but I think as a pro wrestling fan, everyone should have to go to WrestleMania at least once. You don't have to go every year if you can't afford it or if you're worried the card's going to suck. Because the thing is with WrestleMania that's kind of smart is they have to sell the tickets before anything advertised. So, it's kind of one of those, oh man, WrestleMania looks like it's going to suck, but I bought a ticket now just to see if it does suck. So, yeah, I always tell people, I think all pro wrestling fans should see a WrestleMania live, a Wrestle Kingdom live, a Raw live, a house show, just to say you did it. You know what I mean? Just to get it out of the way. And even like a TNA, ROH, if you get a chance, you should go see wrestling live, especially once. If you've never been, because we get questions like that on here a lot. Oh man, WWE's coming to my town. Should I go? I don't know. It looks like a shitty product. And if you've been there before, then yeah, don't go if it looks like a shitty product. But I think as a pro wrestling fan, and a lot of people disagree with this, but I think as a pro wrestling fan, you should you should definitely go see, a WrestleMania. I would suggest seeing a Wrestle Kingdom and all the big events. I've been to a lot of TNA events, been to a lot of ROH events, been to a lot of New Japan. Never been to Lucha Underground yet, so maybe that'll be next. Woohoo! I'd lose my shit. I'd just have happy tears. They would just zoom in on me at Lucha Underground and it'd be fucking happy tears. Oh man, Vampiro would fucking mock me like a bitch. Like I can see Vampiro now. Is that Dave Koco? I don't know if he doesn't know who I am. But let's just pretend. It's my fantasy. It's Stump the Idiot fantasy. But they zoom into the crowd and I just got happy tears rolling down my fucking face. And I'm like, is that Dave Koco crying? I'm like, yes. It's the greatest moment of my life. Anyway, I just did a Koco plays on crying. So there's a free plug. Alright, so WrestleMania. And the number one thing that I love about WWE is the WWE Network. I dreamed about this since I was a little kid. I had Combat TV, which is a 24-hour streaming channel. I don't know how much credit I should be given, but I was there, I guess, during WWN's, when they were doing this live streaming. I don't know how much credit they would want to give me or how much credit I deserve, but I've always was interested in streaming television, and in one of the things outside my outside jobs when I'm not screaming at a YouTube camera, or in this case, screaming into an audio. I don't know what the fact. But I'm not doing whatever I'm doing now. One of the things I do is just try to convince everyone at WWE Network. And for a long time, before there was even a WWE Network, I was like, this is what you have to do. This is what you have to do. And I wish the WWE Network had a little bit more content to choose from. But besides that, it's absolutely amazing. And I talk about this all the time. You might be upset with WWE, and it's justifiable. But the WWE Network is something that I've wanted for a really long time. And I wish everyone did it. I really did. I do wish that all the content came on, including Monday Night Raw, SmackDown. I know they got television deals, but I just think what Netflix is doing, WWE Network is doing, I think that's the future of television. I think it was the future for a while. I put my money where my mouth is, and I had a pretty successful streaming channel. I remember when Combat TV came out, we had to explain to people what streaming channels were. We had to explain, and now the network is absolutely amazing. Netflix is absolutely amazing, and I don't even like TNA. I pay $9.99 for TNA. That's not fair. I don't like TNA now. Matt Hardy, enough said. But I think everyone should have a network. I really do. And the funny thing is, I think you'd get more money out of me. It really would. Like I got Netflix, I got WWE, I got New Japan, and every now and then I get the NHL package. But yeah, if there was companies, I'd probably pay more in cable and networks, because it feels like, even if it is a little more expensive, it feels like, well, at least I chose what I get to watch. So yeah, I think the WWE Network is something that I dreamed of for a long time. I even attempted to do it at a very, very low level, and I'm just glad it's here, and I hope everyone does, from TNA, ROH, and it's just smart on business sense and all that, but they have all the content and all that, so absolutely amazing. I can't put over the WWE Network enough. I just wish the product was better. Alright, so those are the top 5 things I love about WWE right now. I will be doing one for TNA, ROH, New Japan, and Lucha Underground, as suggested by the Internet Infantry. But now, the one thing I hate, and it's easy to hate on stuff. YouTube is just filled with it. You know, it's like, ha ha ha, I hate it, ha 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 ha. But I think the number one thing I hate, WWE never puts on a product for its real demographic. You know, they're embarrassed of pro wrestling. They're embarrassed of their demographic. I just wish they looked at the stats and said, no, you know, because it pissed me off. Oh, it's a children's show. What? Your demographics don't show that? You know, it's just... Because to me, that means you're using children. You're using children for your shitty product. And, you know, the WWE Network's amazing. The roster is probably one of the best rosters in all of pro wrestling history. I mean, look at their fucking roster. It's absolutely amazing. And, you know, production, marketing, all top-notch. The only thing that sucks is creative. And the big reason creative sucks is because they don't book towards their demographic. Your demographic is teen to nerd. Mostly male. That is your demographic. And sadly, that's why Camp WWE probably does so fucking well. It's from teen to nerd. That's your demographic. And stop hiding behind kids. And the thing is, they're so good at propaganda because they convinced every indie wrestler that they're in the business. You're not in the fucking business. And that's it. They're so fucking smart at being evil. You know, it's just like, stop being so smart at being evil and just put on a product for your real fucking demographic. You know? They've convinced you that if you support WWE, you're smart. Oh, that's so smart. We're so smart. And they also convinced every fucking idiot that wrestles in front of 10 fucking people on a Saturday that they're in the business and they have to defend. It's crazy. It's crazy, I tell you. So, yeah. So the top 5 things I love about WWE right now. Camp WWE. They won the war, so it feels like they'll always be there. NXT / the roster looks amazing. WrestleMania weekend seems like a pro wrestling holiday where you celebrate pro wrestling. I actually think WrestleMania weekend is bigger than WWE. And then WWE Network. I found to be absolutely amazing. And I hope everyone makes the network. I hope that's just the future of entertainment. I really do. I mean, I would absolutely love that if that was the case. And then just my thing that I hate the most about it is they don't book to the demographic. They just don't. So, there you go. So down in the comments, if you're a YouTuber, podcaster, feel free to answer this too and put your links down below. If you're not a podcaster and YouTuber, please put your links down. Just put your list down below. I'm interested to see. And what are your top 5 things you love about WWE, and what's the number 1 thing that you hate? And this week, I'm going to try to do this for TNA. Just a little warning, I haven't watched TNA since Matt Hardy beat EC3 with a 4-day booking, gave up the title on YouTube. I wish I just had a soundbite. Why don't I watch TNA anymore? ROH, I'll do one for ROH, New Japan, and Lucha Underground. But right now, we focus on WWE. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns that you'd like answered on Stump the Idiot, alright, so put it down in the comments. All pro wrestling questions will be answered on Stump the Idiot. At least I will attempt. That's the goal. And all non-pro wrestling questions will be will be answered on Koco Plays. KOCO Plays. Please check it out. Alright, check out KocoSports.net, ProWrestling.me, Koco Plays, Pumpkin Cheese, and I think that's all we need to plug. Alright, let's wrap this bad boy up. With that, I am over.